and we do have the daily stand up where you understand the status and the progress of the development team. And there are 1 or 2 hours post the scrum meeting where I dedicate my time to speak to developers or try to solve any issues or questions that they have regarding feature development. It is the same time when I also sit with the testing team to get a status report on how the testing is surfacing out, because a lot of feature requests or issues that the testing team gives me is what I go back and take to the development team to just have an understanding of why are those, if those are very critical gaps in the product that has come up, why was it not developed? Was the user story not accurate, or was the design not accurate? What was the issue that led to the developer building something which was not what I had in mind, what the product should perform? After that, post lunch, most of my time I spend some time talking to users, trying to understand uh, what issues they are facing. uh, if there's no issues you want to talk about, you just might want to just, if it's a B2C consumer product, you might just want to call a user and talk about how has your experience been. We have seen that you've not come, you have not opened our app for a long time. Is there any specific reason for that? Or are you not finding the relevant actions that the app was supposed to perform? That helps me formulate how my existing product is performing. And post that, I keep like 3 or 4 hours for myself to just have an understanding of what is going on new in the market. How are my product competitors products featuring? Has there been new features that they have developed? And trust me, every week I find out about new competitors which I had never heard of. I don't know from where those competitors arise, or there will be some big player who starts building something on a similar line which I have no idea about. So I would, even if you've said Google alerts on certain keywords, I'm always amused by new players that come into the market who I've never talked about. I might be scrolling social media, I might be just reading a blog, and then suddenly, oh, this company was doing something on the same lines. I never knew that. And then you can always use those insights to, formulate your product strategy or formulate new features. And you should, as a product manager, I would highly recommend to allocate at least 1 hour, 1 to 1.5 hours in a day to be abreast about the new things that are coming up. You could read up TechCrunch. There are a lot of blogs, that talk about, that break down performances of certain companies. There are a lot of even books that I would recommend you to read. Try to inculcate an habit of reading, being abreast on what's coming new in the market. What was the history behind certain products? How was the use? Like, it's not just about product management. You can all, when you are reading these books or these articles, you can also understand how products have evolved over time. Currently, most products, successful products, are in a stage where they were not when they launched, right? So if you're working at a new startup, don't aim to build a top notch successful B2C company which has 500,000 or 1 million daily active users. No, try to understand how they started acquiring users. There are a lot of blogs that these companies put up, that would help you. And if you don't have a technical background, you should start reading up on some of these engineering blogs that a lot of companies put up. That would also give you an idea of how engineering team thinks when you're communicating with them. So that's all from my side. Next section I'm planning to do on product management frameworks to help you just understand. If there is any feedback, any questions, any other way you would want me to tailor the sessions, please feel free to tell me that now. I think this is the best time to tailor how we are going to have the sessions coming up.
Hey Twisha, I just wanted to know if I'm a developer and a fourth year BTech student.
Okay.
So I'm working for a consulting agency as a developer now. But I just wanted to ask if there's any prerequisite uh, needed for this sessions we are doing, or is it fine if I just attend these sessions and listen to your PPT or whatever?
I would, I mean, obviously, listening to the sessions and understanding frameworks is one way to go about it, because it would just enhance your knowledge. But again, I think a product manager should always, be in the lookout of new products. So what I would suggest you to do is, whenever you are looking at any new product or any product that you use on a daily basis, be it Swiggy, be it Big Basket, Zomato, Netflix, whatever, there are certain apps that you use. Whenever you are using any such app, or it does not have to be a digital product, you can also be looking at something at your home, like a tube light, a fan, any, your car, whatever. Always think, is there something that this product is doing which it can do in a better way? Or is there something that this product is doing which is so convenient for me that I always come back to this product and I use it? That will allow you to start developing a thought process and a mindset of how products are built. So just listening to sessions, I mean, it's not going to, it will help you form a structure and know what things are. But to develop that mindset, you will have to keep applying your mind. So whenever you're looking at a product, any app, any digital, any physical product, just think, is there a way I could improve that? Is there anything I like about it? That will give you insights. And then I would also suggest, like I told you, you should read up on a lot of product management blogs where they talk about different product journeys, how products were there. If you want, since you have a developer background, I mean, you can all, like, what kind of a developer are you? Are you a UI or a backend or a full stack developer?
I'm a full stack developer for like a application developer majorly. I deal with backend majorly, but yeah, I do front end too.
So in that case, you could also start looking up on some of these product design places, where there are a lot of online case studies on Medium which people put up, where they are talking about how they build the flows for a particular product, right? That can also help you have a UI understanding, a mindset for what good UX looks like. Because that, like, I mean, from my experience, a lot of backend developers don't have a lot of like they are not very good at understanding UX flaws or UI flaws. So that would also give, like, if you just keep reading up onto those or analyzing those for all the products you use, it will also develop your product design mindset as well. I would not suggest you to go too much into the business side, like business model, pricing, revenue side of things as of now. And since you're an engineer, I think you would do very good at analytics. What I think you should focus on is product design and reading up on how products were built. What was the thought process behind those products coming up?
Okay, sure, sure. Thanks, Trisha.
I
Uh,
have two
Hi, Trisha.
questions. Uh, I have two questions. Like number one is what is the difference between mock-up, backlog, and prototype? And second thing is like, do we have any tools for designing of this product, or at a different stage levels?
So, your first question is, what is the difference between?
Backlog, prototype, and mock-up.
Okay, backlog is like a list of user stories. Okay, basically it's all, like I told you, text based. As a user, I should be able to do this. These are all user stories which is in your product backlog. It does not specifically have to be in the form of a user story as well. Let us say you did your market research, you found out 50 features which you don't want to write a user story about, but it is in your backlog, in the sense that these are the things you might develop. If everything works out, or if you had 1,000 developers given at the moment, you would have just started developing all of that. But backlog is generally because you have constraints and you have to prioritize. So only those features that you want to develop are in your sprints, other things are in your backlog. A prototype is basically like, there's not much difference between a prototype and a mock-up. Mock-up can be a very low fidelity to a high fidelity one. So there are tools like Balsamic, where you don't have to put in colors, you don't have to put in the exact buttons, you just have a rough sketch, you just draw a box which is like a URL, you just draw a like one box with one person, and it's like a user profile, right? It's a very, you can have a very low fidelity wireframes, you can have a very high end mockups. High end mockups means you have colors, you have exact animations, it is exactly how it is going to look when it is developed. But all of these are related in the sense that is what is driving your product development. All of these things are driving what features you want to develop first, what features you want to deprioritize and develop later. And
I have a question. Hello. Yeah. I have a question. So, as you suggested that we should start observing products around us, but as much as I understood about product management, it's about having business, technology, design. It's a combination of everything, and we need to have a background and knowledge in all these fields, right? So, as a student, if I aim towards a product management role, what shall I focus on learning or reading about if I do not have a strong software background or a design background?
see, again, all product managers have one, like all product managers come from different backgrounds, right? It's not like all product managers have an engineering background, all product management do not have a design background. So it depends on what background you have. As a product manager, you have to interact with different teams. So you should have knowledge of product design. You should also be able to talk to developers, right? It depends a lot on, and not like there are companies which want very tech driven product managers. Like if you are a product manager for AWS, you cannot say I don't know what are APIs, okay, I just want to be a product manager. No, because there you are interacting with product developers, and you're also very strongly understanding how the entire backend is structured, right? But there are certain companies
Mm.
that are looking for more design friendly product managers. Their managers are mostly managing the front end or how the user flow should be, right? Those companies look for product managers which come from a design background, or who can showcase that they have a fair good design back, like understanding, right? So there is no exact solution ki you need to know everything. Not all product managers are good at everything. Every product manager is good at one thing at best, and then they're also slightly good at everything else, like they can manage everything else. So it depends on your background, how, you know, which aspect you want to groom first. You cannot groom everything at once, right? Start grooming something which you are good at or you have a background in, and then once you get into a product manager role, from that try to target a company which values that skill that you already have. And then in the role you can start reading up, talking to people, and start developing other skills as you grow in that role. Don't think ki only after I understand whole tech, only after I understand how to code, or only after I understand how to make a great design, I'm going to be a PM. No, you can be a good PM, but you need to have an understanding of everything. Start what you're good at.
Okay.